Hey guys, how are you? This is Kathy, and you're back here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin', and I'm so glad to be back. It's been a while, and I know that with all of the issues that I've been going through, I have been MIA. I have tried to keep y'all posted as to where I was, what was going on, and that sort of thing. I am going to do my best to try to get back, but it's going to be a slow comeback. So just bear with me. Today, I wanted to come and I wanted to make a card, but I was at a loss as to what to do. I've kind of lost my mojo. You know, that happens, especially when you've been going through some things and my health hasn't been the best that I would like for it to be. But I am very faithful that I am coming back stronger than ever. And I do have new products to show y'all. You see the little sticker with a check in it. Because my products are overlapping, if it has a check in it, if it's a yellow circle and it has a check, it's out of the new mini catalog. Without a check, it's out of the old mini catalog that will be retiring as of the end of this month. So with all that being said, I'm going to be working with a couple of new sets called Perennial Postage. These are beautiful sentiments along with some layering dies that are always great to have. The other one is Everyday Detail. Again, some beautiful images, some beautiful fonts with some, sentiments with a beautiful font. And this one here, we're going to be using the nest with the eggs in it. And with these, I'm not sure we're going to use these dies. I'm thinking, I brought them with me just in case. I'm pretty sure we're going to use these, and we may use one of the sentiments here. Not sure yet because I haven't worked this all out. I know without a doubt we're going to be using this paper, and this pack of paper cannot be bought. This is a free Celebration item, and if you're not familiar with Celebration, twice a year, Stampin' Up! Does a promo, and it's called Celebration. And what they do is they reward you for making a purchase in the mini catalog, the annual catalog. It makes no difference as long as you purchase, and it starts on January the 4th. And you can earn this beautiful pack of paper. If you spend $50 on anything in the two catalogs, then you get to choose this. If you spend $100, you can get two level 1 items, which means $50, or you can get one level 2 item, which means that's a $100 item. I can't show you the catalog to explain it, but I will come January the 4th. I will be on with all of the explanations that you need. But right now, this paper is absolutely stunning. Look at those colors. Look at the birds. I mean, the patterns are beautiful. And you've got neutrals on one side and pattern on the other. So you can see that's kind of a neutral. That's a neutral. Another neutral. A beautiful floral. A wash in pink. Fresh freesia. And then another floral. It is a beautiful, and then this last one is like a chicken wire, which I thought was so cute. So we're going to be using some of this today, and I have a piece that I've already cut. I also brought in 3 pieces of cardstock. I have a thick basic white, I have a bubble bath, and I have a basic black. The reason I brought in, the bubble bath is going to be my accent color. These are going to be, one of the two are going to be my card base. I'm not sure which one yet. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and cut both of these into card bases. So let's start out with the black one. I'm going to put it in with the 11-inch side to the top, and I'm going to bring it to 5.5 and just slice it. Give that a good slice. Lay these to the side. I'm going to do the same thing with the basic white. So I'm just going to bring it in, bring it over to 5.5 on that 11-inch side. And make sure I got this lined up perfect. You got a nice ledge up here, so when you push your paper all the way up, it catches up there and it holds it really nice. So slice that up, and then we have those two. Now I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to cut this at 4. And we'll save those pieces. This is going to be a card base. This will either be a matte or a card base. Same with this. And I'm going to cut one of these at 4. And again, this could be a matte. Now, I also want to cut this bubble bath, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to cut it at 5.5, and then I'm going to cut this in half at 4. Not quite in half, but I'm going to do a 4-inch piece, and then that'll leave me a 4.5-inch piece. Okay, we've got all of those cut. Now, also from this piece of paper, I went ahead and cut. I just used my scissors and I whacked off because I'm interested in these 2 little birds sitting on a limb right there. So I cut that out so that I could work with it in my die cut machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my perennial postage dies. And I think this one right here will cut those birds out beautifully. Something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a post-it flag just to kind of anchor that down. And then I'm going to bring this over to my die cut machine. And I'm going to run this through. We'll go ahead and get that cut first. And now that we've got that cut out, like that, we're going to need something to back that that's going to give it some beautiful color. And I was actually thinking about going with the boho blue. Let's see how that looks. That is beautiful, isn't it? So I'm going to measure this piece because, normally I have all these measurements measured out and worked out for y'all. I'm going to do this at 3.25 by 2.5. So 3.25 by 2.5. Now let's see if that's going to give us a good background, and it does. So pretty. Look how pretty that looks. Now we could have very well used the pink. The pink was pretty too, but I think the blue really brings out all the blue in that. Just so beautiful. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to lay that up there. And let's put our die back up. Now the next thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need a piece of black because I want to make sort of like a little, I'm going to need 3.5. I need a piece of black that's 3.5 by 5.5. So we've got 5.5. So I'm going to cut 3.5 off of this in this direction. Now, all of these measurements, you will not have to work them out because I will have everything posted. So we're going to go to 3.5. And I want to score this at 2 3/4. Now we've got a score right there. Oh, that did it in half. I wanted to do it up just a bit. So let's see, 2 3/4. Let's go 2.25, 2.5. That's exactly what I was wanting. This isn't going to matter because we're going to hide that score line in the back, and it won't matter here because we're going to put some designer series paper inside. So that's going to work out perfect for me. And the reason I wanted that is because I want to frame it on here like that. And I actually need to cut this piece down just a hair. So I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off. And 1/8 this way. And let's check it now and see. Oh yeah, much better, much better. I just want a little bit of that blue to poke out, but I want to make sure that it frames on the front of this as well. That looks pretty good. I like that. Isn't that cute? So that's going to be one part of our card. The other part of our card, and I think since I'm using the black, I think I'm going to use this. So I'm going to bring up my scoreboard, and I'm going to go ahead and score this into a card base by putting this up into my upper left-hand corner and score it at 4 1/4. This is an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece. Score it at 4 1/4, and it gives us a basic card base. And if you're new to crafting, a card base is that's the actual card itself. So when you hear crafters, YouTubers talk about a card base, it is a piece of cardstock that has been folded to form a card. And then everything else that we do on here are mats and accents. So I hope that will clear up some of the technology, or the terminology, I should say. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring this piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I think that is 5 1/4. Yep, it's 5 1/2. We need to trim this one down. I thought I trimmed one down. I know I trimmed it at 4, but I didn't trim it at 5 1/4. So I'm gonna bring my trimmer back out, and I'll put this in at 5 1/4, and just trim off that little edge. And we're going to do some stamping on this piece. So let's do a little bit of creasing here. I definitely need some creasing on this piece. So I'm just going to use a bone folder, and I'm going to really give a good press on this, because I really want, we're going to try to iron out that score line a little bit. You won't be able to get it out completely, but you can iron it out a little bit so it's not quite so noticeable. Okay. So I'm going to lay these pieces over to the side, because we'll work with those in just a moment. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring out a piece of grid paper, and I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to look in to the everyday details and see that little piece right there. We're going to do some stamping on our cardstock, our mat. And all I want to do is make this a decorative piece of paper. So to do that, I'm just going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black. You could use your VersaFine if you wanted to. It's totally up to you. I think this is going to work for me just absolutely wonderfully. So I'm just going to start stamping. I'm going to go off camera and get this all stamped down. There's no rhyme or reason as to how you put these down. You just want to make sure that you're covering the card all the way around the edges. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have my 2 pieces that I need for the inside of the little matchbook already cut. And you can see once we put these in, we're going to cover up the workings of the magnet. And it's also going to give us a place here to put a sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and use some glue. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this piece. This is the smaller piece, and oops. Oh, look what I just did. I made a mess. I dropped my paper with the glue side down and made a big mess. That's okay. We're going to press that down, and I'll get one of my trusty little wipes, and we'll just wipe that up. Not a big deal. With the glass mat, it makes it so easy. Stampin' Up! Is offering a glass mat free, along with a silicone craft sheet that is much different than the silicone craft sheet that y'all see me use every now and then. It's going to be one that has a palette tray on it. So it's going to be really a nice gift. And if you join my team during the celebration promotion, which is January 4th through the 29th of February, so you would be able to pick that up for free. So it's a great time to join Stampin' Up! come celebration. So keep that in mind. And if you've been, dying for one of these, it's a $60 value. The glass mats, now I'm not sure, I have not seen it. They turned off the ordering for the demonstrators, so I have not been able to order one. I think the reason for that, they wanted to save as many as they could for the participants, people that do sign up. So I thought that was really smart, even though I was sad that I didn't get my hands on one. I have glass mats. I have my black one that y'all see me use. I really like this white one better. Let me zoom y'all out a little bit so you can see it. There we go. And this way you can see this is a really good, nice size glass mat. Um, I bought magnets separately that actually, oops, you don't want them to bite your fingers. These are earth magnets, and that not just any magnet works on this, but if you needed to hold something down, these magnets are very strong and it will hold. And I just keep them off to the side. And when I need one, I'll bring it to my desk. But I love this. I love the design of this one. This is beautiful white glass mat. And not only that, it is, you have grids here for your different size cards. So you can see that the A2 size card is right in the middle. And you've got the different colors that show you the dimensions of your card. And I mean, it's a wide variety of squares and rectangles that will fit into these little grids that will give you the size card that you need. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's zoom back. Whoops, wrong way. Let's zoom back about to there. Yep, that's good. All right, so like I said, I've got these on. The next thing we want to do is bring our card base in. Make sure that I'm doing it right side up, and I am. So I'm going to take and put glue on the back of this, just like that. And we're going to turn it around. I do much better getting my borders straight if I turn it sideways. I don't know why. But you do what works for you. If you have a system that works for you, by all means, continue to use it. I never tell anybody you have to do it my way. You do you, and you do what works for you. Because all of us are different, we're not cookie cutter crafters. We all have different levels of skill. We all have um, ways that we do things. But now when you see when we put this down, we're going to cover up a lot of that ugly that was showing. This is not perfect back here by no means, but it doesn't have to be, because I really don't think anybody's going to be noticing the background of this when they've got this beautiful little card inside of a card or on a card. So, and I'm going to call this the Matchbook because I designed this myself. This is not an idea that I got off of Pinterest or anything. I'm not saying it's not out there, because someone else may have come up with something very similar, but this was my design and I am so, so very proud of it. I do want to use a little bit of baker's twine to tie around, right up underneath here. I think it'll give it a really good effect. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to take my baker's twine. I love this stuff. It's so easy to work with, and it's just pretty. So I want to have enough. So if we do, I'm gonna adhere that down with a glue dot right about there. Yeah, and I think we'll have enough to wrap that twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it up like so and give it a cut right about there. And then I'm going to grab a glue dot. And I'm going to put my glue dot right here in the middle. And there's my little glue dot. See that? Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to even it out just like that, where I got my loop there. And I'm going to take my loop and just sit it right into that glue dot, just like that. That's going to hold it, and it's also going to help me have that third hand that I need to be able to wrap it. So I'm going to wrap here and here. I'm not going to have enough to go all the way around. Oh, come on. And here and here. And if I can't do a bow, that'll be all right. I'll just tie a little knot. It doesn't have to be a bow, and I should have made my piece a little bit longer. So in the instructions, I'm going to tell y'all what it needs to be. So I'm going to make this about, let's see how wide I have this, or how long. Let's see, we're going to need it to be a little bit longer than this. So this is 24. We're going to need about 36 inches. So you know what? I'm going to save that piece and just go ahead and get another piece. And I'm going to measure it. I'm going to do the old-fashioned way of measuring, and I'm going to do a yard. So that's like from the tip of your nose to the end of your feet, and there is my baker's twine. So I'm going to cut that off right about there. Like I said, this piece will come in handy for something else, and so I don't fret over using a little bit more because this stuff never goes to waste. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my two ends together like so and bring it down to where I can find my center for the middle. And then I'm going to take that loop and sit it into the back of that glue dot. And then we are going to wrap this. Go ahead and open that up. We're going to wrap it here, there, and here, and there. Now we should have enough that we can tie a small bow. And you want to try to get that bow as centered as you can. I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers because I need something that's going to act as a second hand for me. And let's see if I can find them. Here we go. So I'm just going to use this to hold that knot in place. Just like that. See what I mean? And then I'm going to tie a tiny bow as best as I can. This is really, really kind of short, so this is not easy to do. Maybe I should have went with maybe 40 inches, would have been better. You know what? I'm just going to tie it in a knot. I don't really have quite enough, so we're just going to knot that like so. And I'm going to try it one more time. What I want to do is I want to come up underneath that so that I can get all those pieces together, and then I'm going to tie one more knot. Like that. So now we have that already in place, and I am going to take another glue dot, and I'm going to come up under it. And I'm just going to use my tweezers to pull this glue dot off. And I want to stick that right up underneath that knot, just to kind of hold it in place. Another thing is I'm going to put another glue dot on top of it because I want to bring in a little black button just to sit right there on top. And I have these little black buttons. I actually picked these up at Walmart. They're black and white buttons, and it was just an assortment of different sizes. I needed a black button to go on the back pocket of one of my husband's pairs of dress trousers. And I couldn't find just the little Florida buttons anymore like I used to could buy, like at a piece good shop or, just a fabric store because those have kind of gone to the wayside. Sad, but true. So I'm going to take this little button. Let's see. I don't think I want that button there. So let's see. I may have something. Let me look into my trinkets. Because we may have something in here. I've got these are brand new. These are called the champagne iridescent drops or dots. They are pretty. Let's see if one of these would look good sticking on that. Oh, that is beautiful. I love it. I love it. See, a lot of times we don't know what we're going to use until we actually start creating and we think, oh, wait a minute. I like this much better than I did that. And I do like that better than I did the button. So experiment when you're crafting and don't be intimidated to try something new or different. That's all part of the process. Like I said, when I started with this card, I wasn't sure where I was going with it, but I am pleased with where it went. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to grab my double oval punch. And what I want to do with this is I want to, I'm thinking maybe a piece of black. Let's do a piece of black in the decorative circle. When I say the decorative, I should say oval. I'm talking about this first piece, this first one right here, because this will layer inside that. But I think what I want to do is just punch out the scalloped one. It's a little bit larger, gives me a little bit more real estate. I love punches because they make your work so quick and easy. You don't have to load up a die or anything like that. Not that I mean, I love my dies, don't get me wrong. But now we can put this right here and it gives us an opportunity to heat emboss this. So I want it to be a message. This one says, I can't thank you enough. And let's see. How about big hugs? I think big hugs will fit on that. And I think it'll be so cute. And we're going to heat emboss that in white. I love that. So I'm going to grab out a stamp block that will accommodate, you know what, I've got some right here. So let's grab one of those. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy. I'll make sure I have no static on this little piece. And I'm going to get my VersaFine or Versamark, I'm sorry. Versamark is our ink of choice here. And I'm going to just tap this down really good. And then right in the middle of this, I'm going to stamp big hugs. Looks good. And we're going to heat this. Oop, my magnets attracted to each other. See what happens? These things are so super strong. If you catch your finger in them, it will hurt. How do I know that? Well, let's just say it will definitely hurt. Um, it's kind of like you know these things because they've happened to you. All right, I'm going to use my reverse tweezers and I'm going to pick this up just like that. I'm going to grab out my white embossing powder. I absolutely love heat setting embossing. I think it's so pretty. It adds just something a little extra to your cards that brings them up a notch. So there we go. We got big hugs on there. And then I am going to grab my heat tool and we're going to heat it up. And this is my heat tool. Right, we got that done. And now I'm going to make sure that it is completely heat set. Looks good. I'm going to take my little brush and just go over this to get that embossing buddy powder off of it. And then we can just set that right inside like that. And that's a really neat little place to put another little message. Just letting your recipient know that you really do care. Right, so that is ready to go onto our card. So now I want to put some dimensionals on the back of this because I want this little card to sit up just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on the back of that baker's twine, or linen thread, I should say. That is our linen thread, and I love it. It's so easy to work with, and it just adds a little bit of rustic elegance, I think. So one there, like so. Now we're ready to sit this right down the middle. And this is where you want to make sure you're getting your side to side, top to bottom, pretty much right on in the center. Press that down and look at the beauty of this card. Isn't that gorgeous? And your little ends that are hanging are so cute. I'll just press those down a little bit like that. Now I want to decide if I want to put a little bling on it, and I think I do. Y'all know me, I like to bling things up if I can. And I have these pastel adhesive back sequins that are just gorgeous. And I am going to take this. I love this. I think the card turned out absolutely beautiful. Now, this one I did a little bit wider. This was my prototype, and I didn't show y'all this on the get-go because I wanted you to see. But this one I made it a happy birthday. And it's the same concept, but I did make this a little wider. I used the different birds than I did here, but nevertheless, it's just as cute. I did do the inside the same, but I said, you mean the world to me. And I love the way both of them turned out. So I think they're gorgeous. Of course, I would because I made them, but this was one of those projects where I didn't know where it was going until after I got started with it. And this is what I want to encourage you to do. Grab out some supplies and work with them and see what you can come up with. It can be a beautiful thing. So give it a try. Let me zoom y'all in a little bit so you can just see the beauty of these cards. And let me know which one you like, with the black button or the gem. I like both of them. I think they're both beautiful in their own way. This one I layered it on pink. This one I layered it on the boho blue, bubble bath versus boho blue. But I think both of them are so cute. And this one I didn't go all the way down like I did here with the paper. I left that black. But you can do it either or. Make it yours. God bless and keep you. I want to thank you so very much for being a part of my crafty family. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. So until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye.